From New York, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
People are tripping on me because I posted the news story.
Which one?
Found it on Rolling Stone. We talked about it earlier. The Michael Jackson documentary headed to Sundance. Documentary accusing Michael Jackson of sexually abusing boys to premiere at Sundance. It's called Leaving Neverland. Focuses on two alleged victims and how they were sexually abused by Jackson and how they came to terms with it years later. The Michael Jackson estate says this is just another production in an outrageous and pathetic attempt to exploit and cash in on Michael Jackson. Wade Robeson and James Safechuck have both testified under oath that Michael never did anything inappropriate to them. Then they filed lawsuits later against Michael Jackson's estate asking for millions of dollars. Both lawsuits were dismissed. This so-called documentary is just another rehash of dated and discredited allegations. It's baffling why any credible filmmaker would involve himself with this project.
Okay.
If we heard that same thing with regard to R. Kelly, we would be on the side of the filmmaker and the accusers.
That's right. We would not believe the defense.
We hear it about Michael Jackson, and people get immediately defensive. Your fandom is getting in the way of you judging things at face value. It is. I'm sorry. Our love for Michael Jackson gets in the way of us being open-minded about these accusers. The same way we're asking culturally all people, believe women, listen to this, listen to the accusers, listen to the abused, listen to these stories, do not discredit them, hear them out, give them an opportunity.
Guys, I've been defending Michael Jackson. I wore his sweatshirt yesterday, okay? I walked down the aisle at my wedding to Michael Jackson's song. It filled my jukebox with Michael Jackson. I probably have over 100 Michael records. I never stop buying Michael Jackson stuff. Love him. DJ his birthday party, his anniversary party. We've all heard that he admits that he liked sharing a room or bed with children, and we all go, well, he never had a childhood, and he may have done excuses, that, man. But I'm sure he didn't do it. He may have been weird, but he didn't do anything sexual. We've done that. Many of you listening right now have thought the same thing.
You're thinking it right now.
Yeah,
you're mad. You're mad that this is being brought up.
Not Michael.
I brought it up earlier too. I guess.
What did you say earlier, Sean?
My thought process was like, it sounds like it could be a money move. But as I think about that too, maybe because it's a whole movie production, right? Because if it's just about being heard, you can go to news outlets too.
People have tried.
Tried what?
To go to news outlets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's invalid. I'm not saying what their claims are.
How many times has the R. Kelly stuff gone to news outlets? And how much?
I don't know.
And how,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'll answer for you. 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
And how much bigger is it now that it's a big movie?
Well,
it makes more of an impact.
And I'll say this. I'll say this. When you compile a bunch of data into one small space, it hits you different. We've heard the R. Kelly stories over many years. We hear one here, a thing there, a thing there. It's kind of spaced out. It doesn't have the same impact. When it's presented in a concise,
collective form,
it hits you different, right? The Michael Jackson conversation, I know people are not prepared for the things that you love to come tumbling down. You are not emotionally prepared for the things that you've loved to come tumbling down. But there's always the potential because you do not know these people in a personal way. You think you do. You know the stories that have been shared to market an album, to sell a movie. You fell in love with songs. I ain't never been with Michael Jackson as he falls asleep at night and what his habits are. I don't know nothing about that.
I'll tell you this right now, though. If anything close to what's happened to R. Kelly happened to Michael Jackson in terms of a well put together body of work and information, it would be very hard. It wouldn't be like this. All of us are being like, okay, get out of here, R. Kelly. Yeah, we think of a bunch of songs we like, but we can deal with it. But I'm telling you right now, at least speaking for me, Peter Rosenberg, I can't speak for everybody. He has songs, many of them, that to lose them and to feel tainted by them would be to feel a little piece of your childhood and your life taken. I can.
Well, let me propose
You could
something. to
lose
you.
something.
This is me. There's a period of Michael Jackson that I just don't like. History album,
Right.
You know,
White Mike. You don't love White Mike.
You know, once your face got crazy and your look got crazy, I was off. Like a song would come, Butterflies came out. You know, it was a good song.
I love it.
A moment here or there. Got
Right.
it.
But you have Mike eras. Off the Wall was an era. Thriller was an era.
So you're saying you can keep
Bad.
those.
Right? I think that people will, their mind, at least my mind has in the past, there's Mike eras that I like and there's a Mike that I don't like. I like Black Mike. I don't like White Mike. But he gave us that much content. But
Right.
this goes back
5
to the
decades.
conversation that people fried me for the other day. Are you able to separate content from the person?
Some people are.
Some people aren't.
Some people definitely
Some
can.
people won't. And they point to, because when we step outside of the art and you just start talking about accusers and abuse, music pales to that, in my opinion. That's the piece that people want us and hope that we'll get to, is taking your own personal enjoyment and empathizing with people who have been abused. That's what they're calling out for. That's why the vitriol and the passion is so high, because you have so many abused people. There's so many people who have been abused that are like, yo, I know y'all love the songs, fam. It's just a song. I'm talking about my life.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about my daughter. I'm talking about my mom. I'm talking about me, like sexual abuse. People have physically touched my body in ways when I was a child. I was manipulated. I didn't know what was going on. And it's ruined my life. And y'all talking to me about Billie Jean?
Right.
Y'all talking to me about an album? Like what? Their brain can't even,
And I understand why their brain wouldn't be able to wrap around that. And it's also understandable why the person who's not a victim, who lived with the music, can't fully wrap their brain around.
For sure. But that's what the call out is. They're asking us to wrap our brain around it so that this will stop, so that we'll get to it quicker, so that when we hear things sooner, see something, say something, we get to it faster. We start changing culture. That's what the ask is. Change culture. We have lived with toxic masculine behavior for centuries.
Forever.
And we're living in a time where women, young people are saying, yo, help us change culture. We're begging you. Hold these people accountable so that they know that there's ramifications, so that they don't think that just because they're talented, they'll be celebrated and everyone will forget. And that is what happens every single time. Them songs come on
And you forget.
and you forget.
And the only way to
Yes.
topple it, to your point, the only way to topple it would be is to take out the biggest people on top.
yes.
Michael Jackson, Donald Trump shouldn't be president. People shouldn't be able to run the world.
The Supreme Court justice just got pushed through. There was we watched a woman go on television, bro. A woman went on television and was like, listen, this isn't what I want. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to travel. People begged her to go. She was like, fine. She was like, I didn't know he was going to be the nominee. I saw his name on a short list and was like, hey, guys, this guy sexually assaulted me. She had
even
no
at-
idea it was going to get that big. And what did people do? They tore her down.
And even afterwards, you know how many times this woman has to move the threats to her family, to herself?
Because the Supreme Court justice is that important. It's more important than what you went through as a little girl. It's more important than any other sexual abuse person who's out there suffering right now. It's way more important than what you little person is going through. This is bigger than that. We need this guy in this seat.
And the interesting thing is why we need to all question ourselves about how we handle R. Kelly or how we handle Michael Jackson is that it does seem like we're getting closer to some major changes. Because as you open the paper every day, when you see someone like Harvey Weinstein, who none of us care about Harvey Weinstein because he was an entertainer, he was a business person, but to see someone of that level of power be completely ripped down and he will end up in jail suffering. we are witnessing a time in which these changes could actually start happening and it won't be acceptable anymore. We're watching Kevin Spacey go down. It's going to go down.
Well, like Laura pointed out, even for you saw him at the trial,
Yes.
and what did you think of?
The first thing was like, guys, I told you, I was like, it's so weird to see Kevin Spacey on, like, in a courtroom when it's not House of Cards. It's the first thing, and then it's like, I read the story, and it's disgusting. The allegations against him are disgusting, and all the craziness that we've reported on him has been disgusting.
Trinae,
Yes. Hi, guys.
you would like to say MJ is different from R. Kelly. Why?
Okay, so first of all, let me say I am a woman. Obviously, I'm a mother, and I'm a sexual assault victim myself. So I'm not coming from a place of defending these men. But in my opinion, R. Kelly's situation is different from Michael Jackson's. First of all, there are video evidence of R. Kelly in all his discretion. So that right there is like, okay, proof. There's never been any physical evidence against Michael Jackson other than his stupidness that he said and then what these people have claimed. The two people that this documentary is based on, they've already gone on the oath and said they lied and Michael Jackson never did anything to them.
Yes.
So where's their credibility in the situation?
But my
also,
point, but
ultimately-
Trinae, quickly, right there, and I'll let you finish your
Yes.
point. My only point
Yes.
in bringing this up is not to compare Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. It's specifically
Right.
about us listening to people who say they've been harmed and not
Right.
glossing it over just because we like someone's content
And we want
or
to.
we're entertained by them. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
I feel you, and I agree with that. And I would probably take the Michael Jackson documentary a little more seriously if it wasn't going to be based on two people who have already said under oath
Oh, for
that
sure.
are live.
For
But,
sure.
and then lastly, I really feel like this is a money grab because Michael Jackson is dead. He's not going to be prosecuted. He's not going to be put in jail. And the only people that this is going to hurt at this point is his family and his children.
But let me- Trinae, let me
obviously are
propose
still living
this.
off his legacy.
Let me propose
Yes.
this, and this is just so we can all learn and so we can be more aware
Right.
and do better, right? Whether it's a money grab, whatever you want to term it as. I've never been sexually assaulted. I've never been accused of that. I've never nothing with that. It's never been a part of my life.
Right.
But what I'm hearing from other people who have is that it pains them in ways that last for the rest of their life, and they have no get back. They have nothing. They just live with this. And in the case of these celebrities and powerful people, they see them celebrated. Meanwhile, their personal life and themselves are in shambles. All I'm asking is for everyone from henceforth, we all work to do better and listen when we hear this stuff. And not
Absolutely.
not to discredit the accuser because of their power or entertaining abilities or that's all I'm saying.
No, and I agree with you. I've been done with R. Kelly. When I bought tickets for the R. Kelly and Jay-Z show, he didn't show up, I was done with him.
Oh, at the
So
Garden.
I've
At
been
the
done with
Garden.
him. But this video, this documentary surrounding R. Kelly is real, and it changed my perspective totally. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But what's messed up about the Michael Jackson thing is when we have these people who come out and say I've been abused and then retract it and lie, that's what makes it bad for
But
the
you- but
abuser.
You're absolutely right.
You also should know, as a big Michael fan, I've read a lot of these stories. There are some crazy stories about people who said things, then recanted things, and then disappeared from planet Earth.
And also fear, guys.
Yeah.
Fear and money. People are afraid. And before the social media era where people had, right now people have power in their hands.
They have a voice.
They feel like they can defend themselves by jumping on their live stream and saying, yo, they're coming for me. I'm stressed. I'm scared. This is what's happening in my life. And they don't have to go through the media outlets and these other powerful, controlled by powerful people media outlets, right? So
Yeah.
we have to remember that these things happened at a time with kids who were probably scared or their parents got paid off or whatever. They didn't want no problems. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's true.
Trust me, I've been there.
And by the
I'm
way,
totally for the
I'm
victim.
going to say this. I hope it's not true. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm
But if
saying
he did
is
it to me, under the grave, but R. Kelly, Weinstein, all of them under the jail. No sympathy for them. Deuces.
Listen, I hear you, and I'm gonna say this: no matter what this documentary is, Michael Jackson ain't had no business having kids spending the night without adult supervision with kids he ain't know. That was weird. Y'all know it was weird. We all know it was weird.
100%. I wouldn't be a parent that would even allow that. It's crazy.
Let me see here, Jerry. This might get crazy. Jerry.
Oh my gosh, Ebro, that's the introduction I get. Good morning, guys.
Well, yeah,
Morning.
it says here nothing anyone can say. ...
I'm sorry. I love Michael Jackson. At this point, I feel like a documentary with two people, it's not going to stop me from listening to his music.
So
I'm sorry.
what would it take? What would have to happen for you to stop?
Maybe if I saw some, video evidence like I did with the R. Kelly situation, and maybe that would change my mind.
Maybe.
But
Well, like I said, I'm gonna propose this too. Michael Jackson has errors. When I hear him singing as a 9-year-old, I don't think the same thing as when I hear him singing, as a weird-looking white female that he ended up looking like. Like, it's not the same for me.
But
I
still,
hear a different person.
But you hear the point of what she's saying. Which
Absolutely.
Is that nothing. But if it was someone in your family who was making the accusation, I bet it would make it easier to stop
Of
listening.
course.
of course it would make it different because then that touches home. But at this point, like Michael Jackson is home for me. I grew up on that. I love his music. It holds a special part in my life.
Jerry.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to you. As we move forward in the years to come, I don't know how old you are, we all need to be prepared for learning the truths about things we didn't understand because we were younger or, whether that's about your religion, about your government, about your country, about your family.
And I agree with you.
You got to be prepared and you have to
I
listen.
agree with you with them. I agree with you, and I understand that. And I am on board with that. But at this point, I'm like, he's dead. Are you seeking justice at this point?
No.
Maybe therapy would be better?
No, it's about learning. Because we heard weirdo-ish, man. We heard things that didn't make any sense. And we looked past it because we liked the music. We don't know these people. I keep saying that. We don't know these people. We like what we've been marketed.
Not only that, we put ahead.
You guys also hear these things all the time, too. But you hear things about these artists, whether they've been accused of, raping someone or whatever the case may be. You still play their music.
Absolutely.
You're still playing their music. So you guys have a big role to play
absolutely.
here, too.
And then there's been artists that we stopped playing their music, like R. Kelly. Or in the case of, when Future put out the Percocet song, I was like, yo, I'm not playing that on my show. We have an opioid crisis. I'm not playing Molly Percocet in the morning. So there's been times we've taken a stand, but there's also with Kodak Black situation. It's an allegation. So can I hold somebody accountable at 21 years old and be like, yo, your music is banned because you've been alleged?
And is there a difference between someone who's been alleged in one crime and someone who's had
serial incidents?
It's been 30 and God, and Jerry, I'm telling you, this is someone who absolutely adores Michael Jackson's music. Like we love Michael Jackson in my home. But it's been if the allegations have been going for 30 years, that's a different thing, no?
I get what you're saying. I do.
I just think, Jerry, you don't want to prioritize other people's feelings over your own personal love of Michael Jackson's music.
No. I was stepping in the name of love to R. Kelly, okay? When I saw the video and everything, I was done. I couldn't. So I am able to separate it.
And you feel as strongly about R. Kelly as you did. You feel the same about R. Kelly as you did Michael Jackson. You love them equally.
Musically.
Yes.
Jerry, we appreciate your call today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah. Especially when you ask somebody what would it take, and we're talking about an adult abusing children. And you ask the person what will it take, and they're like, I don't know.
She said
that's not enough.
She said maybe video.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Listen. Be prepared, man. There's a lot of change going on. We're learning a lot of things. We living in an age of information and transparency. There's a lot of false information too. Not saying it's not, but if we are gonna culturally make a change, we're gonna start listening to accusers, man. We're going to start listening.